going on today? It's Friday, the 7th of December 2018. It's The Gap, episode 448. I'm Luke Lawrie. Joab Gilroy's here. Joab, how's your Monday? No, not Monday. Fucking Friday morning going.
Fucking, you are on fire, baby.
That's because it's early in the morning and I don't know what is going on. Nothing's working for me. My internet is like dead. We're recording off of my phone at the moment, so This could be special.
Yeah, I was actually up really early, surprisingly, because I figured I'd be super hungover, but I actually feel really good. So, yeah, got up really early, did a bunch of work, played some Counter-Strike, and yeah, going pretty good. 6:30. All right, it's not a competition. But,
and then I sat in bed and read the internet and played some games. And then I was like, I should probably get up now. It's 9:30. So I got up, had a shower, got on my computer to get the show ready. I'm like, my internet is not working.
That is amazing.
What is going on?
Shit.
So, yeah, perfect timing.
Yeah.
But we'll see. Hopefully this I've like tethered my phone to my computer. We'll see how it holds up over the next couple hours.
Fingers crossed it doesn't shit itself further. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's cooked.
Anyway.
A
couple of things I want to talk about quickly.
Sure.
We'll try and make this a quick episode, but we say that every week and that never happens.
Very true.
We saw some movies that haven't been released yet. Oh, well, we saw some advanced screenings of films that aren't out.
Yep.
Let's do
movie cast. Let's go.
Let's start at the bottom of the pile. The one we saw last night.
Yep.
It's called Mortal Engines, and I don't think I can tell you what this film was about because I watched 3.5 hours of something.
It never
sure
ended, right? It never ended. It was just on. It was going forever. I could not understand how it could keep going.
The guy I was sitting next to, Paul, who he was in our Gap Fantasy League, NBA. I was he turned to me like halfway through the movie. He's like, "This is the end, right?" I'm like, "I don't think so. I think this is like halfway through." It's a weird fucking film. It starts off with like this epic. It's about like moving cities that are like giant fucking Tonka trucks.
Predator cities, right? Is that what they call them? Predator cities?
They're giant like steampunk cities that are built on tracks and like they move around like cars.
Yeah, on massive caterpillar tracks.
And then halfway through the movie, it turns into a Terminator film, and I wasn't sure what was happening.
Yeah,
and it's like a fucking Lord of the Rings by the end of it. It's so weird. It's just That film looks like they spent a shitload of money to make that film, and it's not going to make anything. I guarantee you that film bombs so hard.
It deserves to bomb really hard. What I like about film, what I like about movies is that generally I can turn my brain off and I will not notice a lot of the stuff. Like I don't treat movies like I do games, where games I'm like always like that's poor design, etc., etc. I'm cataloging all the things that are sort of like ruining. And like not necessarily ruining, but also like, propping up spectacular pieces. And eventually the only thing I can actually actively remember is basically everything about the last game I played. And then it's to the detriment of remembering what the fuck I'm supposed to be doing today, or anything that's in my calendar without checking my calendar, etc., etc., etc. My brain just catalogs faults and highlights from games at all times. When I watch a movie, it doesn't do any of that shit. Like, I just watch a movie and I just either enjoy the experience or I do not enjoy the experience. And it's not like I'm sitting there going, this is why I didn't like it, etc., etc. And so I will often like a movie, a popcorn film, just a shitty fucking blockbuster, like a whatever, a 5 out of 10. I'll be like, yeah, I liked it. We'll talk to, I'll talk to you guys, and you guys all seem to have like a mind for cinema that I just don't have. And so, yeah, we'll talk to you guys, and I'll be like the guy who's like, Yeah, I thought it was okay. And you guys would be like, it was fucking garbage. What are you talking about? Like this and
Like
this and this.
Alien Covenant.
Yes, exactly. Like I was mostly, I was like, there are some excessively dumb shit in that film, but I didn't hate it. I did hate it on second watching, but like that's that's different. Suddenly what's coming, and you're like looking out for other things. But yeah, like on first watching, generally I will like a film. I will be like, yeah, that's cool. I liked it. It was entertaining. This, I sat there and I could not stop noticing, like, just all these little things were niggling at me constantly, like continuity errors and stuff like that that I never see. And I like, honestly, I don't think continuity errors are generally that big a deal unless they're plot fucking specific. But there's like right at the end, they're ringing a warning bell. I won't say why, but they're ringing a warning bell, right? And they go to ring the warning bell, and they show them like running up to ring the bells. There are no bells ringing, but everyone is already panicking. These people cannot see shit. They cannot see what they are supposed to be warned about, but they are already panicking before the bells are ringing. I'm like, how the fuck do you let that happen? Like the bells ringing and people like that moment when like nothing family that you never saw,
Right.
except for this one moment you have a scene with like a family eating dinner or something, and then they look up and hear the bells and then they panic. That is a fucking classic scene, but they didn't even do that. Like this is basic shit. They're just like, yeah, well, you got to ring bells, I guess, like to warn people. And when do people panic? Oh, they're panicking. Don't worry about it. They just fucking run around. Like in Futurama, when Harold Zoid is directing and he's like, show some emotion, wave your arms a bit. And like everyone's like running around in the White House waving their arms and shit like that. Like it's just this fucking trash bullshit movie making that I honestly never see. I never notice. And I couldn't stop seeing it constantly in this
And
movie.
there's like a moment, like 2.5 hours in, they start introducing new characters, and you're like,
Yeah.
what is going on here? Who is
How?
this person?
How are you doing this? Like,
It's
why
like,
are you
it
doing
feels like a
this?
trilogy of books that they've jammed into, like,
It's like the
normally
reverse Hobbit.
yeah, it's like normally when you get those like books and they stretch them the fuck out, and it's like,
Yeah,
oh, we're gonna make this over 4 films. With this one, they're like, we can fit 6 books into this one. Don't worry, watch
yeah,
us.
yeah, yeah. 100%. Like, yeah, it's the reverse Hobbit. Like, there is way too much shit packed into this tiny space of time, so they never have any time like let any fucking moments land or like anything make general sense because they're too busy trying to cram in the next thing. Oh, and
Yeah,
now the Terminator's here. Oh, now the fucking this chick's here and she's got wonky eyelashes or whatever the fuck was going on with her face,
yeah.
and like etc. etc. And you're like, what the fuck? Where? How?
Meanwhile,
How? Who's keeping up with this shit?
Meanwhile, like Hugo Weaving is trying to carry the fucking shit out of this movie.
He is LeBron in the playoffs, like for the last 15 years. He is carrying so fucking hard. It is ridiculous. And this is not like chewing the scenery carrying. This is like proper gravitas, like doing his fucking best to hold this turd of a movie up. I could not understand any of the choices that they made with this movie.
It's such a high concept film.
Yeah.
Like, it is high as shit, and I'm like, I do not understand what is happening at any
Right.
point in this film. I was on board that first 5 minutes. I was like, I can get on this. Yeah, giant fucking cities like battling each other,
Yeah,
and
like
then it just
some
goes
sort
out
of
of control.
scaled up Mad Max or something. I'm like, yeah, that seems cool. And then like even then, like they spend all that time like focusing on Scarface, and then like suddenly they switch over to fucking like the gangly dickhead,
Mm,
who is actually the protagonist, I guess. Right? Is he?
maybe, I don't know.
Oh, it's
I don't. I can't tell you. I can't. I
but
literally
he
can't tell you what
develops
happened in that film.
he develops like all these relationships with these people on the moving city of London, and you do not see them for the next 2 hours. Like a plot related thing happens, and you just don't see. They spend literally half an hour building up his relationships with these people, and then they're just gone. Like they're
My
not necessarily
my favorite
pointless.
part is there's this MacGuffin in the film,
Yeah,
and they like teasing it throughout the entire film, and you're like, oh, what is this? And we're like turning to each other trying to guess what it is,
yeah.
and then they reveal it like right at the end. It's this important moment, and it means absolutely nothing. I think like half the fucking cinema burst out laughing because we were like, what the fuck is going on here?
And the other half was groaning. That is not how you fucking play that shit. Like, holy
Because
crap.
it's supposed to play off like as this big reveal, and everyone's
Yeah,
like, okay, what does that mean?
right? Like, and yeah, like that's, yeah, they're crammed so much in that, like, if they'd taken the time, right, they might have actually been able to, like, eke that out, like, sort of
Sure.
hints at it throughout. But instead, it's just this moment where she's like, looking at a she's looking at a wall, right? When it clicks in her head, she's literally staring at a fucking wall.
Hmm.
And it's like, oh, but that means, huh. And then like they do this slow pan reveal, and you're like, what the fuck are you idiots doing? Like, you didn't earn this. She saw her fucking carving, and that's it. That's how she works it out. Holy shit! You may as well just have fucking gods slam his finger down Monty Python style and just smash the fucking big bad. Like, oh,
Yeah.
and all this, oh, that bit, the bit when the mild spoiler alert, fuck it. The They suicide a plane into one of the spotlights because they have to kill all the spotlights for some reason. I don't know why. They could have landed about a fucking million times, but they have to kill all the spotlights, and to kill the last one, they suicide a plane into it. Why didn't they suicide the plane into the weapon? Why didn't they just suicide the plane? Like, if you aren't going to fucking 9/11 some shit, just 9/11 straight into the fucking weapon. Good God. That's ridiculous. I could not understand. That was driving me so fucking bonkers. Like, oh, yeah, there was so much going. Like, you leaned over at one point and you're like, I think that's the end of the movie. And I'm like, nah, fuck off. Nah, fuck off. And then I went through like this cycle. I'm like, actually, I'd like it to be. That'd be good. It should be the end of this film, so I can
Yeah, is it gonna end soon?
Yeah. And then yeah, I'm like, but if it is the end, I'm gonna be so fucking pissed off. But then I'm not really gonna be that pissed off because I'm never gonna watch the sequel. So I could just
It's never getting a sequel,
I just
don't
get
worry.
to leave. Yeah, that's true. But yeah, fuck man.
Yeah.
What a
I walked away
train.
from that. The only high point was me thinking I really want to see Hugo Weaving in a Star Wars film and play a villain.
Fuck yeah.
That's the only thing I walked away with in that film. Be like, oh yeah,
That'd
okay.
be that'd be some shit. Yeah.
That was
holy
my
shit.
thought-provoking moment from that film.
Yeah. Yeah, that'd be fucking amazing. But yeah, terrible. Like truly terrible. Good God. But
Mortal
yeah,
Engines. Avoid.
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 What's next?
You went and saw Ralph Breaks the Internet, right?
I
That's
did,
the sequel
yeah.
to the
Wreck-It
first one
Ralph.
where he's like interacting with video game characters. I don't even remember what it's called. Was it just
Wreck-It
called
Ralph.
Wreck-It Ralph. Yeah,
Wreck-It
alright.
Ralph. So yeah, this is the sequel to Wreck-It Ralph. And basically so it's John C. Reilly as Ralph and Sarah Silverman as, oh, what's her name? Vanellope? Yeah. Vanellope. Yeah. Like vanilla, but she's in a candy game.
Candy Crush.
They
Yeah.
they get into the internet, and so now they're interacting with internet references. I'm in two minds about this one. I liked some of it. There were fun moments, funny moments. They meet all the Disney princesses,
Right.
and
This is a Disney film.
yeah, and they ham it up pretty hard on those references. The Brave chick, she's from a DreamWorks film. She's in it, and they make her speak in like this incomprehensible Scottish accent. And they're like, "Oh, she's from a different property, so nobody understands what she says." Which pretty funny. But yeah, like they, the whole time the princesses are like talking about, just generic things you see from a Disney princess, like all these things, and that was a really good interaction, and actually like a pretty good way to move the story forward and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, Ralph comes across as a bit of a bad guy, but I guess that's his arc. They're just repeating his arc. He, has to learn something, and he's kind of a douchebag about things while he's learning things or whatever. So yeah, that's good. Yeah, the only thing I didn't like is he has to earn a bunch of money real quick, and to do it, he literally just copies a bunch of like memes,
Right.
but like slightly tweaks them so that they go Ralph on them. And I just didn't think that was a very good message, to be honest. Copy whatever's popular doesn't strike me as a very good message to have in a kids' film. But yeah, that would seem like the overarching message from that particular portion. In the end, it's like pretty heavy duty on friendship and the nature of friendship. And I think the overarching whole message for the film is that is good. It's just that one section when he's earning money off the internet. Yeah, I don't know. I'm loath to think what that's going to do to a generation of children who grow up and think that the way to get popularity on the internet is to just copy whatever the fuck is popular. It just seems shitty.
Floss.
Yeah, exactly. He does floss.
Of course he does.
He does.
So, without giving like any spoilers,
yep.
Does it do the video game stuff again? Like, does it bring in characters, or is that like a side thing for this?
There are some video game characters, but it is very much divorced from that. Like, I think there are a couple.
Was a video game movie.
Yeah, this one is more of an internet movie.
Yeah, right.
Like you see Google and Pinterest and all those kinds of et cetera, et cetera. And they make jokes related to that instead of video games. So it's more, about internet culture than it is about video game culture. Animation wise, and we were arguing about this last night while we were drunk, but animation wise, I think it's going to win awards. The scenes are so densely packed with reference on reference on reference on reference. It seems like each frame has another fucking crazy reference that, I don't know that it could be beaten. Like, it is just unbelievably dense. It almost feels like it's not something you go see at a cinema, only because I wanted to hit back on my fucking remote so I could go and see, I'd catch 3 things in the background, but I'd peripherally notice 3 more that I didn't catch, and I want to go back and have a look at them and work out what they're referencing to and all that kind of stuff. Like, a lot of the humor is extremely understated and just relegated to background stuff, which I think Wreck-It Ralph did a lot of as well. Now, obviously, like I said, it's internet culture as opposed to video game stuff. But there's still a couple of video games. It's still rooted in video game stuff, and there's still some good references. But yeah, it is. Yeah. Anyway, it's good. Like I said, though, I don't know that I'd go and see it at a cinema. I think I'd wait to watch it at home.
Yeah, right.
I think it'd be just better. Yeah, right. I like the first one. I thought it was well done. Like an interesting twist on the way we treat villains and stuff like that. Like an interesting examination on the way we treat villains and stuff. So, yeah. Anyway, so that was that. It's good. It'd have to be trying to be worse than fucking Mortal Engines. But yeah. And what else did we watch? We watched Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. Into the Spider-Verse? Into the Spider-Verse. This was a lot better than I thought it was going to be. I'm going to be honest. I thought it was going to be good, entertaining, but this was actually good.
Yeah.
Mm.
So this one's not out until I think next week, like a week from now. It's
Yeah,
pretty
really.
early screening. Yeah, we got it 2 weeks early. Um, so yeah, it is an animation film produced by the guys that did like 21 Jump Street and um, Lego Movie and I think Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs. Is that the same crew?
I don't know. I didn't know that
Phil
there
Lord,
was.
Chris Miller. They didn't direct it, but they produced it. I think one of them wrote it. Um,
Yeah, one of
Directed
them
by
definitely
Phil.
wrote it.
Yeah,
Definitely Lego Movie. I didn't know they did Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs.
I
Yeah,
think it was those guys, or at least that film. Yeah, and it's an animation film from Sony. This is not it's not a Marvel film at all, which is weird because they've gone and made one of the best movies of the year and then one of the biggest turds with Venom.
yeah. Holy shit.
Really different contrast. Um, yeah, so it's actually based off of the Miles Morales character from Ultimate Comics, and also takes a storyline from um, Dan Slott's 2015 arc of Spider-Verse.
Oh, here we go. Spider Dork over here. About to school us on the fucking arcs of Spider Man.
No, I'm just saying that it's mixed, like it's borrowing elements from different comic lines, slightly.
Sure.
Um, Yeah, because the idea was, I guess, in the Miles character in the Ultimate Comics is not actually attached to the same universe as the normal Peter Parker that we know from Spider-Man. And what this is trying to do is basically bring in all those characters, which is something they did in the comics a couple of years back. Um, yeah, man, and it's an origin story for Miles Morales Spider-Man and not Peter Parker. Peter Parker is like a dude who's having like I guess a midlife crisis in his universe,
Yeah.
and he comes along and it's about all these spider people joining together and trying to save their dimensions or their universes, which is yeah. I think the art style is amazing. I think
Yeah.
it's gonna definitely win an award for something. I haven't seen Ralph Breaks the Internet, but um, yeah, the way they do the art in that is, I think,
I, sh-
phenomenal.
I thought the blurring stuff was specifically distracting.
Which blurring stuff do you
They
mean?
did all this blurring stuff to try to like
Oh
highlight the
yeah,
foreground and stuff. But I thought it was specifically distracting at times, like actually detracted from the film, which is not good in my opinion.
right.
Um, yeah, other like I did generally enjoy the way that they blended comic book aesthetic with
Sure.
animated like cartoon, I guess.
Yeah, by
Um,
like having speech bubbles come up when people were thinking or when loud noises were happening, have
and
the
like
like
frames
sound.
and yeah,
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 the voice framed. Yeah,
yeah. I thought like they did some really good stuff, and I think that yeah, like the way it blended the concept of the comic and the like the film itself. Like he very much existed in a world where like comics exist and tell us a very similar story, you know. And so like yeah, I thought that was it was interesting from a storytelling perspective as well. Like they
mm,
used it to tell the story as well. I just think Ralph has like is so dense. It's redonkulous. Yeah,
right.
the amount of
Yeah, my
shit.
I think my only complaint about Spider-Man is I don't think the villain was very good. I think there's other villains in that film that they do like good twists on.
Yeah,
Whereas in this one, it's just like they give that character some motivation, but otherwise it's pretty like nothing. They don't really dive into it too much.
yeah,
Whereas it's not as fleshed out as like the Miles character or the Peter Parker character, or
yeah.
any of that stuff.
The
Yeah, there's some good.
Peters Parker characters.
Yeah. There's a lot of big actors in that film that I didn't realize were going to be in it because we were
Yeah,
like there's one point I turned to you, and I'm like, is that person? And you're like, yeah.
Yep.
I'm like, oh, fucking hell. Fair enough.
Yep.
And it's got one of the best stingers, one
Yeah.
of the best after credits I've seen in a while.
Yeah. That after credit thing was like laugh out loud funnier than anything I saw in Wreck-It Ralph. Like, yeah, that was fucking hilarious. It's definitely worth staying till after the credits or watching after the credits for that because it was fucking funny. Yeah, just like super self-aware as well. But that's the entire film. Like, I think that's what I was trying to say about the being aware that it is tied to comics in some way. Like,
Sure.
it was just super fucking self-aware of everything that people think about Spider-Man, people know about Spider-Man, like our preconceived notions and stuff like that, but also like the culture around him and stuff like that. And yeah, like even I don't think it's spoilers to say there is a Stanley bit in it. But even that was like, I thought that was done in a way that was self-referentially quite touching, and like as a tribute to obviously, one of the greatest comic creators of all time. Like, yeah, I thought they did it really well, and they must have been a challenge considering the time frame. But yeah, like it spoke to how well everything in the film was thought out and written. It was everything sort of new to like it was new everything about the culture. It was very much a Spider fan film, like a film for Spider fans.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they don't like, well, they do tell like origin stories for obviously like the Peter Parker Spider-Man. They do that in like 2 seconds, like the stuff that and then they go into the bits like, then they do like another 20 seconds of sort of what's happened past that, and that's kind of the things that comic book readers would like. Some of that stuff is in there.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to spoil it, but anyway, there's stuff in there that like if you've read the comics, that is like proper storyline stuff. And I think the interesting thing they did with it was they've like kind of tied it to like the Sam Raimi universe as well.
Yeah.
Like they've borrowed elements from the Sam Raimi Spider-Man.
Yeah.
And then like the current stuff, like seems like they've just grabbed everything.
Yeah, but that's what I'm talking about, right? Like everything that exists in the Spider-Man universe or realm sort of exists in this one super fucking layered Spider-Man film. Like it is, it's not just for newcomers to Spider-Man or like for comic book movie fans. This is like but that's the other thing. Like it's super I guess like relatable because I'm not a Spider fan. I'm not a Spider dork like you are. I don't know fucking it's Dan something's fucking arc with the bloody blahs. Like, yeah, I don't know that shit. Like, I know Spider-Man because he's been rebooted 15 times, and like that's about it. Like, yeah, I know his origin story, and yeah, I know I've watched all the Spider-Man films, and that's about it. But I still got all this extra shit from being, like having read comics for a long time, and every time he shows up in crossovers and stuff like that, and all the times that you have to read like 16 fucking other fucking books just to get up to speed on whatever the fuck they are in a certain book and stuff like that. Like, yeah, it's dense in the same way that comic books are dense, and I think that's fucking awesome. Yeah. It was just really well done, like super relatable, but also it seemed like it had so much for Spider fans, and yeah, I thought it was awesome. Yeah.
The only other thing is I don't like the title of the film, and that's got to do with just because back in the day, like the Ultimate Comics Spider-Man, like that's who that that Miles Morales character was.
Actually,
Yeah.
yeah, I think you'll find that
No,
Miles
but I
Morales
also
was Ultimate
they
Spider-Man.
ended up changing the name of that to just Spider-Man as well, and I fucking hate it when comic books do that sort of shit. Like they go and reboot their comic line and then they change the name of it, and you don't know the fucking order you're supposed to read it in. Like my thing is, I don't know. Like people might get into this movie thinking it's gonna be the Spider-Man that they know, like the Peter Parker story, but it's not. It's completely different.
I think the bait and switch is good because I went in thinking it was a Peter Parker story. I didn't realize it was a Miles story, but
Yeah.
I had, like I said, I've seen Peter's story 14 billion times, and it was really good seeing Miles' story instead. Yeah, and I think they told it in a really good way. Like, I don't know if that is, yeah, I don't think that's the only way they tell it, but yeah, like there was also like, having been accustomed to Miles a bit more, obviously he was in, well, was he in Homecoming? It was definitely referenced in Homecoming.
He's referenced in Homecoming, yeah.
Yeah.
Because
He was,
the
sorry,
Donald Glover is the uncle.
yeah, right.
He's uncle, yeah.
Yeah. And then like obviously he plays a role in the game,
His character
the
in
Insomniac game, and yeah, like so I've become more accustomed, and learning a lot more about him was, yeah, like a good way to go. I think he is on the up, and I think that's a really good path for them to take to grow Spider-Man in the future, so that we don't have to see Peter Parker's story again.
Yeah.
So I'm done with it. Yeah. Anyway, it's good.
Cool. It's also good, yes.
Yes.
All right, let's do some games.
Nah, one more movie.
Oh, really? One more. What else did you say?
Everyone has to watch Bodied.
Right.
Bodied. It's a movie like from Shady Entertainment, like
Okay.
as in Eminem's production company.
Yeah.
And it is about a skinny white dude who's like an English literature major in college, investigating battle rap, and the propensity for people to say the N word in battle rap. And it is way fucking smarter than it has any right to be. It was like a bit off-putting at the start because it seemed like it was going down this path where it's just setting people up to fail, like setting like certain types of people up to fail. Like, I'm loath to use this term, but SJWs up to fail. It is like, it seems like it's skewering the fuck out of them, and then it re-examines all of that as well. And yeah, like it's actually it's a surprisingly intelligent examination on the way like cultures interact, but it's also wrapped up in this battle rap like stuff, and there's a bunch of like very entertaining battle raps. Yeah.
Cool.
So yeah, check it out. It's awesome. It's, yeah, probably good. Anyway, games.
Talk about one we missed last week. Golf with friends.
Golf with friends. Yeah, I meant to put that on last week and then we forgot.
You forgot. You told everybody to buy this because I think it was on sale during the autumn Steam sale, right? I don't know if that's still going at the moment, but
I don't think it is. But yeah, it was super cheap. It was like $5, and that was just $5 Australian as well. So I'm like, yeah, sure. I can get this. Like, let's check it out. I've wanted to play.
Probably like $5.87, right, or something.
Yeah, probably.
Have you noticed that? All the prices are just dumb shit on there now.
Yeah. No clean numbers anymore. It's all weird shit. But yeah, we played it. You and I played it, and
you got fucking wrecked.
I got destroyed. It was disgusting. And I believe I'm the only one who's been playing it since. I played it once with Drew. We had some fun, but yeah,
practicing ever since.
Essentially, yeah, I will not be beaten like that again. Um, no, I found another mode because we played regular golf mode. So it's basically a mini golf game. It's got eight different courses, 18-hole courses.
Themed courses, yeah.
Yeah, but it's also got like player created courses
Cool.
and stuff like that. It is mini golf, so it's it's less about long drives and stuff like that, and more about like calculating angles and banking in shots and avoiding pitfalls, and yeah, it's just that sort of like really entertaining sort of situation you find yourself in when you fuck up what should have been an easy shot and you miss, and like everything starts to fall apart. Like the further you get in the course, the more complicated the holes become, and so every fuck up costs you that much more, and you like the panic sets in, and you're like, oh god, I don't know how I'm gonna recover, and yeah, somehow you have to recover, and the game continues regardless. It's good fun. There's 3 different modes as well for the official courses. There's regular mini golf. There's dunk mode, which I was bad at regular mini golf, but fuck, I was bad at dunk mode. Holy shit!
I was doing shit like banking it off walls and then jumping in backwards and shit, and you're like, what the fuck?
Meanwhile, I'm like, I would just like to get it in before my 12th shot. I will be like at the fucking hoop, like just short of the hoop, like just fucking hammering at this fucking basket, missing constantly. And I'm like, over and over and over again. And then like sometimes the ball lands too close to the fucking hoop, so there's physically no way for you to get it in unless you do some crazy bank shot like you did. And yeah, so I'm like, oh, I don't know what I'm gonna do here. So I'd like inch it away, and that would cost me a shot, but I'd inch it away so that I could actually take another shot, and then it'd land in the exact same spot again. And I'd be like, well, I'm fucked. The third mode is hockey mode, which has a big hockey goal instead of a hole, and it's got a goalie that moves across at random.
All right.
It's you hit a puck instead of a ball, so it doesn't roll; it slides, and that one's pretty. Good. I'm pretty good at that one. You can definitely luck out in that one though. You can fuck it up and just get bone zoned. But yeah, it's good fun. Like some of the player created maps are really fucking good, and most of the actual maps are really well made as well. There are a couple of the end of the default one, the forest, that last hole where you're supposed to drop it onto that fucking treadmill and it shoots it across, like shoots the ball across and down that fucking ramp. I think they might have bitten off more than they can chew with that one, because it's all based on physics interactions. Like they're aiming for hardcore realistic physics in a essentially a fantasy world, and yeah, there are some interactions that just don't play out the way they should. So yeah, you like the 18th hole, you drop it onto this treadmill and it spits it across this giant gap really quickly, and then it has to like dodge a saw and a log, and then land in this like tube that spins down, and that's how you get to the actual play field where the hole is reachable. It's the only way to make it to the hole itself. But too often, like, it will bounce weirdly off the tube that runs down, the slide that runs down to it'll bounce weirdly. Like, it won't bounce the way it should bounce. So the physics will goof up a little bit, and then it'll ping off into the out of bounds area, and you'll have to somehow construct a scenario where you dodge all the stupid shit you're supposed to dodge again, and it's just tough.
Are you supposed to dodge any of that stuff? Because I couldn't figure that one out. I kept like trying to bank it off of logs, and I'd hit like the log and it just bounce off the edge of the map. I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing. Because you got on there that first game.
I got lucky. I literally just got lucky. I have no idea how I did it, because I've played that map again, and I think it took me like 11 shots to get in the hole on that last hole. And after the first 4 attempts of trying to specifically do something, I literally just like winged it and saw what like just random amounts of power out of the gate and to see what would happen, whatever. Yeah.
Right.
I honestly don't know how it's specifically supposed to work. But yeah, it's extra complicated because of those physics goofs, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah. It does this thing where you can only look at the whole. There's probably ways you can change it, but I guess in the default mode we were doing, you can look at the hole just for like 7 seconds or something like that. So you can move around like free cam, but once you've run out, you've used up all that time, that's it. So there are points where it's like, I don't know what is past this wall or like what is going on. So you just fucking hit it. Hope it gets into something.
There's a bit of like gamesmanship in not wasting all your like getting a good idea of where to hit the ball in the first place and knowing to not waste your free camera so that you can actually use it when you're at the next stage, like sort of randomly going in, saving that free cam so you can work out how the fuck you're supposed to do shit without like moaning yourself. It's good. It's good fun. If I had any specific request, it would be a race mode where you try to get in the hole as fast as possible and strokes don't count. So you'd have like a countdown at the start and then you just start smacking. I reckon that'd be entertaining. It'd be frantic and there'd be like, I think it'd be a good one to have because there's no reason why 2 people can't go at the same time. It's not a limit, like it's not limited the way that real mini golf is. Your balls, you can set it to have balls collide, but you can also set it to not, so you could have balls not collide and have a timer and count things that way. And I think it'd be good fun. But yeah,
I don't know of the netcode or if it's like, I'm not sure how it's doing the server stuff. Because it seems like it's got dedicated servers or something going on. But whenever we were playing, you were always hitting the ball first. Like, I'd get into the game and straight away you were just like fucking hitting it. So I don't know if it's like loading off of your game first or like what's
true
happening there.
Well, if that's happening, then I guess that would fuck the system. There are some occasions where when I was playing with Drew, he would sink the putt, but on my screen he missed, and I think that was happening with you as well when we were playing. So if that is the case, then maybe it doesn't work, but I think you could probably like just wait until have a timer or have like a waiting for all players to load or something like that, and have a countdown and do it that way. And if you made it in, like, it could be technically independent as the time goes and still like work, I think. So
sure.
Anyway.
All right. What else we got?
I don't know. Where is our list?
Where
is our list? Battlefield 5.
Yeah. New update dropped last
But we haven't
night.
played it, right?
I haven't played it. No.
I haven't played the new update.
This is the update that changes a lot of weapons. It changes. So some balancing in there. Nerfed a bunch of the guns that we liked. Bit disappointing.
Apparently the K7's been nerfed, but it's like reading the patch notes, it didn't seem like it was being nerfed that much.
I guess we'll see.
It's its kill, its lethality was enough that I was looking at those fucking patch notes, and I think all it got was like a longer reload time, right? And
I think it got a recoil change as well.
Oh yeah, horizontal recoil though, and I don't think horizontal recoil was really its problem. Its vertical recoil is too low. I think like it's way too easy to control vertically. I don't think horizontal really winds up mattering all that much in a lot of the situations where the KE7 was unusually powerful because it could outshoot the SMG, and once you're close, like it could outshoot it in close quarters, and once you're all that close, like horizontal doesn't matter as much as vertical, in my opinion, because yeah, vertical.
I think maybe the spread or something. They must be doing something with that. Maybe it's I don't know.
Yeah, maybe I don't know.
Because that's the only thing I can think of that's cool. Like it would change.
Yeah. Anyway, we haven't tested it. We'll return to that one next week because we haven't actually seen the patch. It was supposed to drop earlier this week, and then they delayed it because apparently it was killing servers. So yeah, we had plans. I still love it. I still love the game. Yeah. Just apparently planes are less lethal now, which is I'm all about.
I heard planes. They got buffed. I thought I was reading they buffed the planes again.
No.
Like the damage on them.
Apparently not.
Oh, okay.
They nerfed the splash or something. Apparently. They
might nerfed tanks a little bit. Tanks do
less damage.
Panzers do more damage on tanks now.
No, they do less.
They've changed the way they've changed the lower threshold damage. Like if you hit it in certain areas now, it does more damage than what it used to be.
Well, that's good because that's what.
But I think they've made it overall do less damage.
Right. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, because you can't one-shot a plane with a Panzer anymore, apparently. Which
I've never tried.
Yeah. Well, I saw some videos. Yeah. Okay. Cool. Like I said, we haven't played. Let's move on. Black Ops 4.
Right.
Why is this on the list?
I don't know. Why is it on there? Did we leave it on there from last week? I've been playing multiplayer. That's probably about it.
Yeah, I played some multiplayer on the weekend as well, even though I usually don't. Yeah, I don't know.
I'm still a lot, man. I'm up to like level 34 or something like that. I unlocked I've got a skin for one of my light machine guns, which is reactive armor, I think it's called. And once you get a certain amount of kills on that one, it like unlocked another layer of skin, and now it's bright green, and it moves.
Right.
It's like all glowy and shit.
Yeah. I saw a dude rocking this like calling card, and it was like it looked fucking sick. It was animated and stuff.
Yeah, they're the like when you do a collection of
the battle pass ones, right? Like, yeah.
No, not the battle pass. Like, if it's like there's specific challenges in the game,
right?
And it's like they're all like partnered into a tier, and if you complete all of those ones, then it unlocks like the animated version. So there might be like 5 challenges in this like set, and then once you do all of those, then it's like you get this special thing. Yeah, the animated ones are pretty cool. There's a lot of them.
Yeah, I haven't got any. Yeah. I'm a chump.
No, man, anyway. I still enjoy playing like TDM. That's the only one I really play, TDM.
Fuck TDM. Fuck TDM. I was playing Kill Confirmed. Kill Confirmed is TDM, but good.
Yeah.
It's the one where the dog tags drop and you got to collect them to actually get the point. It adds so much to the dynamic of Team Deathmatch, in my opinion. Because suddenly hiding in a corner and waiting for people, you actually have to get those tags. And if you just wait there for more people to come, then they might recover the tags for their team, which will spoil it for you, and you won't get the points at all. So yeah. Anyway, what else we got? Rainbow Six Siege.
Rainbow Six Siege. I played a bunch of this the other day because
Wind Bastion. What a terrible fucking name.
Yeah, the new content update. The last one for this year. For this season dropped.
For this season. The next one better fucking be Australian operators. God damn it.
The gun that they got in this one is an AUG.
Yeah, but
Is
it's
that?
the
It's a different version though. It looks like.
it's the A3, I think. I don't know. The fucking it says it's a cut down SMG version of it.
Yeah, it looks different.
Yeah.
Um. So yeah, that because that if you were gonna put a gun in there, that seems to be the one they always put in Rainbow when they're like, we need an Australian, let's give them an AUG. All right,
Yeah.
fair enough.
Yeah, 100%. And yes. God damn
Um,
it. Anyway, so yeah, two new operators, one new map, some changes to other people, but they didn't seem that consequential. Defender new operator is basically Bandit, but better.
Yeah, and we talked about this when they announced it, right? I didn't really understand why they didn't just
Fix Bandit.
like redo Bandit.
Because I don't think Bandit needed fixing, to be honest. Yeah, it's Bandit. It's odd. It is odd. So basically, he's got this thing. This
Like
deployable. He's got two of them, and he puts them on metal
surfaces. Yeah.
surfaces.
Put them on anything.
He throws them. He doesn't place them. He throws them, and anything metal connected, it becomes electrified. So that means that he can like electrify 3 reinforced walls right from the get go, and that's pretty heavy duty. Like, yeah, it means
3.
that.
Why do you think 3?
Well, I guess it could be 4 or 5.
No, it's a radius. It doesn't chain together.
Yeah, it does.
No,
I'm pretty sure it does.
no.
Unless it looked like, unless he had it in. It looked like he had 3, and it didn't look like it was in a spot where it could possibly be. It looked like it had to be chained.
Right. So when you throw it, there's a
Yeah.
circle radius that shows you, like, anything
Where?
within this circle gets electrified. So as far as I know, you can't do 3 walls. You could only do 2. Because you're not touching 3 walls at that stage.
I definitely saw it on 3 walls.
Maybe there was another one on the other side. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe.
You
Weird.
could do
Okay.
4 in like, because he's got 2 gadgets. I don't think they chain because I tried and it didn't look like it chained. Like, I'm gonna put this here to do all these walls.
What the
which
fuck is
way
the point of it?
That's the way Bandit works as well. You can't chain in Bandit either.
No, I know Bandit can't chain, but this dude only has 2 of these things,
Yeah.
right? So what the fuck is the point of him if they don't chain? Why would you use him instead of Bandit?
Well, that's the thing, right? Is that you can say there's a you're trying to block off an entrance, right? You could put one reinforced wall next to the entrance. You could put a deployable shield at the entrance and then barbed wire down there. And that's like you could chuck this gadget in the corner and suddenly you're doing the wall, the barbed wire and the deployable shield are all electrified. So you can do a lot of stuff in a small area, but it's not going to chain across. And then all of a sudden,
He only has 2. This is my problem. He only has 2 of these fucking things.
yeah.
Like, that's not enough utility. That doesn't make sense.
Because I think if you give him 3, it's too much stuff. And that's why I'm like, they should have just redone Bandit. Like, it's just a weird way to implement it, I think. I don't know. Because you've got 2 operators that do exactly the same thing, except one of them can put them on roofs and shit now.
Yeah.
To electrify roof hatches or...
Yeah.
But I've seen people getting around that anyway, so it's like, I don't know. Whatever.
How do people get around it?
I saw a video where they put a breaching charge next to the hatch, and then that blew up, and then takes out the gadget along with the hatch.
I see. Cool. Yeah, like I'm very confused, man, because not like he just doesn't make sense as a character. Then, like, I thought the bonus was that he fucking chained.
But yeah, that's the
and I definitely saw 3 walls and only one thing. So I don't know. Yeah, it must have been on the other side or something like that. But fucking hell, that's goofy as fuck.
Maybe it does chain, and I'm completely wrong. And I saw it when I set it up, and it wasn't working properly or something. Because
Yeah.
because when I was playing him, I thought the same thing. Oh, I'm pretty sure you can chain these, and so I set up a bunch of fucking walls and threw it, and it only did the one wall. I'm like, all right, fair enough.
Cool. Great.
Unless it was bugged or something when I tried it.
Because the other thing is, it takes time for it to deploy as well. So
Yeah.
it's not. So you can't do the bandit trick to destroy thermites with it.
Yeah.
Um, because it takes time. Is it immune to EMP? Is that what it is?
No.
Then fuck it. What the fuck? That's the worst shit I've ever seen. That's crazy. That is so fucking useless. Holy shit. Yeah,
The other buff compared to Bandit is that because they've got Maverick on the team now, Maverick can put holes in reinforced walls, and so if you know something is electrified, you know it's gonna be, well, unless you're playing Maverick because you're an idiot. You know, like roughly
fuck off.
where this, you know where the battery is gonna be, right? Whereas if you're playing, I think his name is Cade, then that device could be wherever, like somewhere, and not necessarily you could shoot it through a wall. If you've got IQ, I guess could see whereabouts it is.
Right.
But even then, like, it might be behind a wall that you can't get to. So
Or too high. I
Too
saw a lot of
high,
people
yeah.
throwing it high.
yeah, I don't know, man. I just think it's such a weird. I personally think they should have just redone Bandit and changed his things to gadgets and done it. Like, it's just so strange
His
to me.
design gets worse, right? There's more confusion because he's got the Org A3, the fucking tiny, the SMG version of the Org, and he has a fucking auto shotgun that is hideously overpowered, and like the Org cannot have an ACOG. The shotgun can have an ACOG.
Yeah.
And I think the shotgun is lethal over a larger distance than the Org is, which would make sense because it's got an ACOG. But like, what the fuck? That doesn't make any sense to me. Why would you be able to put an ACOG on the shotgun of all things? That's bananas. It's just dumb. His overall design, he seems like they fucking palmed him off to the fucking work experience kid or something. I don't fucking know. None of it makes sense. Like, and this work experience kid loves Bandit and loves
And he
shotgun,
just wants to.
as far as I can tell. Yeah.
He just wanted to electrify hatches, and he was like,
He's like, sometimes my friends pick Bandit before I can. Let's make someone
double Bandit.
Yeah, exactly like Bandit. But slightly shitter, I guess. I give him a shotgun. Yeah, fuck. I don't know. I've stopped picking him. I don't use him. And last time I played, we had an entire map where nobody used him at all. Like on either team, you did not see him used. The chick, the attacker chick, I don't know. So she's got the air gap thing where you fire out a mine essentially that blasts people across. I have some problems with the design of the air gap launcher. It's on her gun. You like middle mouse button, right? Yeah, gadget that you switch across to and then you fire it. I have some problems with that. Her guns are really good though. She's got the fucking AK, which a bit of weird spread. I think the recoil's a little odd, but it's like really good when you burst it and like just three tap it. And the other gun she's got, I can't remember what the fuck it's called, but it's a fucking killer. I love it. It's got a really small magazine size, which is the only downside, but it fucking smashes. Yeah, I can't remember what it's called. It's fucking awesome though. I love it. I've definitely fucking carried some rounds off the back of that alone, more than the air gap thing. The problem with the air gap thing is when she aims it, there's a bright fucking yellow line, like a laser sight that aims where it's going to go to, that anyone can see. Like as an enemy, you can fucking see it. Like I was able to see it as a dude camping the site, and I could like I saw her fucking aim it in and fire it, and I just fucking, okay, cool. Well, I know where that is. Thanks. Like I was able to track exactly where she was going to put it. It's completely pointless. It'd be like if that was how to put fucking lesions down or something. Like you had to aim this thing, and like it's you've got like the problem. Not the problem. The trick with lesion is that you've got like a 2-second window where you can very visibly see the lesion, and you can still see it like when it's invisible because it's got an outline. But if you see it being deployed, you can shoot it and bingo bango, you can move on. This one, it's way more than 2 seconds unless you are as the what's her name?
I don't remember.
Yeah,
like Nomad or something.
Nomad. Yeah, if you're playing as Nomad, right? Unless you know exactly where you want to put this thing, and you can fucking like quick scope that shit. Like the time that you are spending like presenting where the fuck you're sending this fucking thing is way too long. So you were saying, I think it was you or Nate, one of you were saying that it basically exists as like a defensive tool to prevent the retake.
That was me, yeah.
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense. That, like, as a design concept, you are banking on so many things going your way. Like, that's crazy. To design a tool specifically for that is crazy to me because, like for the utility to actually have utility, you need to stay alive on the take, like while you're capturing the side, and then deploy to prevent roamers or to disrupt roamers. That's insane. Like, Batman doesn't fucking plan that far ahead. Good God, like that's too many steps forward and counting on too many things to go right for her utility to exist in a way where she isn't just like not really bringing anything to the table. Like, I guess you were saying that you could put it outside the site while you're taking to prevent roamers from sneaking up behind you, right?
Yeah, it's anti-roaming. That's the only reason I can see you using her.
But why wouldn't you just Claymore, right? That's what they do already. That's what pros do already, is they just Claymore to prevent that.
Yeah, but they use a lot of that for, I guess, like Claymores are good for stairs and doors. That's probably about it. Whereas there's a giant radius on this one, so it can cover entire hallways.
Yeah, true.
But even then, you've got to put it in a good position and also hope that they walk on it and you're quick enough to turn around and like deal with that problem.
Yeah, and it just seems there's too many points of failure, right? Like the way I look at it, there's too many points of failure for her to be. I don't know. She just doesn't feel like a must pick, right? Like, doesn't feel like someone that you're like, fuck, I can actually see how she is useful in a lot of situations. She's still getting picked a lot because her guns are fucking great, but she is. I'm not seeing people use the item very much, the utility very much. It just doesn't seem to get any use, and it's odd.
I do think it's specifically to counter roamers like Cav, or what's I can't remember the dude's name that goes invisible on cameras.
Vigil? No.
Yeah.
Yeah, Vigil.
Are they the two roamers? Yeah.
Yeah, I guess.
Like, otherwise, I'm not really sure who else is anti-roamer on the attacking team.
Yeah, I don't know.
So, yeah, that's what I'm thinking that she's there for, because you can't use it. It's hard to use it offensively, like in a room.
Yeah, it is.
Because it's a gadget you can see, and it means that someone's got to run over to it.
Yeah.
I just think it's an anti-roamer tool.
Just doesn't. I just don't think it's worth taking that over. Like, I don't know. Like, where on the list would that sit? You know.
But at the same time,
you take that. You wouldn't take her instead of a buck, right?
I would take Buck anyway.
But you wouldn't take her over a buck, right? That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
If they had like main weapons that were even, you wouldn't take her over a buck.
Sure.
I think you'd want the shotgun, the key or whatever the fuck it is, because at least then you've got the ability to open up like walls or floors that you don't get from her. Yeah, I don't know, man.
Yeah.
I don't know.
At the same time, it's like day one that I played it, and
Yeah,
it's
ditto.
been out for a couple hours, and I mean the meta could change with her. Who knows? People might figure something out.
Well, yeah, we definitely might be missing something,
Yeah.
but I'll be pretty surprised if we see her like being played by pros very much. Attackers have way too many tools. I think way too many tools available for her to really present that great an option, except in like specific scenarios.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. For me, it feels like the most disappointing update that they put out this year. Like, I'm just like, yeah, whatever.
Have you played the new map?
I have, yeah. Because it was on
weird.
high rotation.
It's weird. There aren't many hatches. It felt really weird that there weren't very many fucking hatches when the dude can fucking electrify hatches. Like, you made a map where probably the most interesting thing about the guy cannot be used at all.
Yeah. One of the sites, one of the bomb sites, like, is an open area.
Yeah.
And there's no roof. Oh, sorry, there's no... There's a ceiling, but it's fucking super high up, and it's not actually like a part of the map ceiling. Like you can't get up there and come down. It's just like, all right, fair enough.
Yeah.
It's really strange.
It's very odd. Yeah, it's an odd one. It seems too similar to Border as well, like aesthetically speaking. Yeah. Like it's
different for them.
It's very similar to Border. So it doesn't bring that much to the table in that respect either.
Because they usually try and do stuff that looks different, completely different, and
yeah.
Yeah.
No, I have been underwhelmed by this update. Yeah, it hasn't like killed Rainbow for me or anything, but yeah, just sort of. I guess they can't all be hits, right? Like at some point you get a swing and miss. That's what this one feels like. It feels like a swing and miss. I cannot remember. Yeah, maybe Yachts with Frost and Buck, but for a while there, Frost was like the best fucking operator, and she still gets used quite a lot. So, yeah, like, Yacht was a giant turd.
I like Yacht.
Yeah, you're crazy. Like, Yacht's fucked. Even after the remake, it's still fucked. Like, fuck Yacht.
I haven't played the remake.
I
thought they just put it back in.
Oh, is that all they did? That would make sense because it's still
back
fucked.
in.
Yeah. I thought they did something to it to make it less shit.
I'm not sure.
I don't know. It's still fucked. Whatever it is, it's fucked. All right.
Cool.
What else do we got?
Counter-Strike Go?
Counter-Strike Go. This is to do with a new update that came out today. But yeah, so they added in, it's now free to play. Counter-Strike is now free to play. And they added in a mode called Danger Zone, which is a 16 to 18 player battle royale mode. And I've played it. And I am currently sitting at a 100% win rate. I'm the greatest. I'm the fucking best, baby. Don't know. How dare anyone question my fucking Counter-Strike skills? It's interesting. It's very interesting. It's such a weird take. It's very it's to me a lot closer to the film concepts of battle royale. I mean, because you've got all these grids and certain hexes. They've got these hexes. And these hexes like get bombed sometimes, and you can actually bring up a tablet and you can see where other people are on the map. Just the hex that they're in. You can't see exactly where they are, but like you can see that they're in a hex, or like not a specific person either. You can just see someone is in a hex. So there are people in that hex and that hex and that hex. And so you can not go there if you so choose. You don't fly in at the start of the round. You put a marker down where you're going to drop. And I think that immediately locks you in.
Mm-hmm.
But theoretically, you can put your marker down on someone else. So yeah, that's so you could deliberately drop on someone. Guns seem super sparse. The first thing I picked up was a HE grenade, and the second thing I picked up was C4. And I didn't get a gun until I bought a gun.
That sounds
you
like
can buy
authentic battle royale. Not finding a gun.
Yeah, it was pretty on point. But yeah, you earn money for doing certain things. I found a hostage. I didn't know what to do with the hostage, but I found one. And I killed a automated turret that earned me a shit ton of money, actually, which was good.
Grenade.
With my C4, actually.
Okay.
Yeah, that earned me a bunch of money. So I bought some guns. I bought dual Berettas. It's all I could afford. And I bought some armor. And that is another interesting thing that they do. It's physically brought in using these drones. And I believe you can shoot the drones down. So you can spoil someone else's purchase, which is interesting. You'd have to have a gun in the first place, though. So, yeah, that would make things a bit more challenging. Yeah, ammo is super sparse. It's weird when I found like an ammo drop, and to pick it up, I had to pick up bullets individually, which was whack. That was fucking bananas. So I had like, I think like 22 bullets for my Berettas, and that was it. Because I found 12 bullets on the ground, and the guns came with 10. I guess the circle closes in. I don't know what happens if you're outside of the circle, but it looked like it was super lethal, so I didn't want to risk it. And yeah, it tells you, it actually announces from 6 players below, it'll tell you when another player dies until there's only one enemy left. It doesn't tell you there's one player left. It tells you there's one enemy, so you know there's only 2 of you left. So it'll be like five enemies left, and it'll continue on like that. But yeah, it's an interesting take on the on the battle royale system, because it's a small map. It seems quite easy to get yourself into conflict, and it sort of feels like it weighs getting the drop on people pretty heavily. Oh, you can heal yourself. I put up a video on Twitter of my win. I dropped to like 8 health, and I had no fucking idea you could heal yourself until it literally told me to use my healing pack or whatever the fuck.
Yeah.
So I used that and got up to like 118 health. And yeah, if I'd stayed on 8 health, that dude would have won for sure. I never saw how to buy health. I never saw a health item that I could pick up. I think I picked up an extra one off a dead person because I killed 2 people. Picked up a P90 with 11 bullets, which was utterly worthless. I don't know. It's weird. And I won my first game with a knife kill. He still had bullets too, so that's embarrassing. He got knifed to death while he was trying to shoot me. I stabbed him slash. And I got a crate out of it.
All right.
And it cost $3.50 to open the crate.
Nope.
I don't think so.
This is why it's now free to play.
Yep. So I'll probably sell that crate. Yeah. Cool. But yeah,
do you know
it's interesting.
Do you know if everybody gets a crate or just the winner?
Only the winner. Well, I was the only person who got a crate, so I don't know if it's only the winner, but yeah.
No.
Nah.
Man, I don't know.
It's gonna be a no from me, dog. But the gun's fun. The game's fun. So yeah, it's definitely worth trying, like checking out. I'd love to check it out in like squads.
Trios.
Yeah, trios. If you squad, sorry, queue as a duo or a trio, that's how you get into the largest version of the game, which is 18 players. Sorry, up to 18 players. And if you go in as a solo, you are only 16 player games. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I'd be interested to see how deep they decide to go into it, and if they start doing 100-player maps or something like that.
I don't know that the game could do it. To be honest, it seems to me like it might be pushing its resources as it is. Well, it doesn't seem very pretty to me. It's pretty like bland texture wise. So it might be tough on the old server resources.
Right. Is CS:GO on Source 2 yet, or is it still on original Source?
I honestly don't know.
Yeah,
But,
I think
yeah.
it's still Source. Rightio.
Rightio.
So everyone's got that now that has Steam, because it's free.
Exactly.
Weird time to announce it.
Very weird.
Such a strange time.
Well, I think they were supposed to like launch it a couple of days ago, right? Because they were doing like a teaser, and then one like at some point they're like, got too busy with work. We'll have to get back to you tomorrow. I think that was yesterday. So yeah, I think they were supposed to announce it yesterday. They might have even been supposed to announce it the day before, like even further back. But yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. Ancient Bricks is on here. Is that from last?
It must be from last week. It has to be from last week. Yeah. Tell me about it while I whiz.
It's yeah. So this is the game that you recommended after you told everybody to delete that other game, Bricks and Balls. Which this one is sort of similar, but not really. It's like it takes like a different take on where you fire a ball up into the air and you're trying to kill bricks because you don't like bricks. And the ball bounces back down, and you have a paddle that you have to hit the ball with, and it bounces back up top again. So it sort of like takes that classic old school type of formula of games where you had to like just destroy bricks, but this one throws in like power ups and different levels and whatnot at you. It's all right. I'm sort of enjoying it, but it's like, yeah, it's fine. It's not really doing it for me.
You're crazy. It's awesome.
Yeah, I think my issue is that that you use your thumb or your hand to control the paddle.
Yep.
And it seems to sometimes like lose track of. Like it seems like if I put my thumb just below where the paddle is and I'm playing, after a little while it seems like it's starting to slide a little bit, and all of a sudden my thumb is not in line with the paddle, and it looks off-putting to me, and so I've got to rearrange my thumb again and be like, I'm in the middle now.
You're not getting the slow paddle thing, are you? Because the slow paddle will, like the paddle slow, like power down, will fuck that shit up on you.
Yeah, I think it's because the game, when you're destroying bricks, you collect gold.
Yeah.
And so you'll try and hit something. You'll try and hit the ball. The ball will go up in the air, and then maybe you've got to quickly go and get some gold that's on the other side of the screen. And when I'm doing that, like it's just not keeping up enough, and so your thumb kind of gets a little bit out of line with the actual paddle, and that's the only bit that's really annoying me.
I thought you were going to say that sometimes, because this happens to me sometimes, I drag my thumb like across, but it goes up a bit, and it brings up the fucking Android menu. You know that? Yeah, that's annoying. And then like I'll fucking home out of the fucking game. I'm like,
yeah.
Well, this is probably not going to go well for me. But yeah, no, I like it. I play it a lot.
Yep.
A lot. It's definitely my new game that I'm playing a lot of. But yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. Anyway. Just Cause 4.
Just Cause 4 came out I think it was this week.
and it needs to go back in. Hey.
I don't know. I don't know what that's supposed to mean. So yeah, I reviewed this game. I got it on Friday afternoon, I think, and the embargo was Monday night. So
Cool.
that was a quick turnaround on that one. And we talked about this a couple of weeks back when we played like a few hours, 3 or 4 hours of it at a preview session. So Just Cause 4 is set a couple of years after the events of 3. You are once again on a fictional island. It's called Solis, and you've discovered that your late father may have been working for the faction you've been combating over the last couple of games, the Black Hand, and that kind of sets him off on this path to sort of figure out why that is the case, because he wants some answers. Yeah, man, I really liked Just Cause 3. I think it was a good way to sort of cap off the end of the year. It was a dumb game that had a lot of explosions. It was you blowing things up. The story was pretty nonsensical, but still fun.
Yep.
And there was a lot to do in the game. And I'm not I think Just Cause 4 is pretty average. It takes some of the good things that I really liked about 3, it gets rid of them. The story is again complete crap. Like you just don't care about it at all. Because it does this formula of you can go and complete any part of the game whenever you like. There's really not like a way to tell this story. It's very disjointed and in pieces. Like you're sort of learning bits of information, but it's only because you're doing this part of the mission. So it really doesn't the story. Just don't even worry about it. It's not important.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the game's broken up into, you start off in a part of the island, a region, and as you destroy things within the game, you earn chaos points. And then once you get to a certain level of chaos, you level up and you get squads. And you use squads to basically push your front line forward and take over other regions of the island. And then that allows you to do other missions and earn more points and whatnot. You also get squads by completing certain missions, and then you also sometimes will get squads by liberating certain parts of the island as well. So sometimes it might be like you need 3 squads in order to take over this region. And the reason why that is the case is because the adjoining regions maybe have enemy forces in them, and so it's like, if you want to really take this one over, you're going to have to send 3 of your squads in there to set it free. But you can take this one over here, which you've got more of your front line attached to it. It's only going to cost you 1 point. So it kind of forces you or gets you to think about certain ways to approach some of these regions. Like you could spend a lot of points to go into this part, but if you go around the other way and sort of start joining all your front lines together, then you use less resources. And I think that was one of the biggest problems for me, is that as I started very early on, even in the game, I found it quite easy to just unlock a lot of these regions because I had just an abundance of squads on my my faction, like a ridiculous amount. So that sort of feeds into the issue of there's no reason for you to earn chaos levels because I have all these squads that I'm not using anyway. So what's the point in me blowing things up?
Yeah.
What they did in the last game was they had like a progress bar, and it'd be like, hey, here's all the things you can destroy in this region, and it will like basically show you you've got 3 of these things left to destroy, and you'd earn points, and then you'd use those points to get unlocks, and like there was some sort of progression there. Whereas here, it's attached to the squad mechanic, But I never felt like I needed to use any of these squads because I've got so many of them. So why am I really blowing anything up in the first place? Like the core point of the game is to blow shit up, and you're not giving me any reason to do that.
Yeah.
So like they took that entire mechanic out. That whole progression is completely removed from the game anymore, because they've attached it to something that you don't really need anyway. So that's just a big disconnect for me.
Yeah.
The other thing they introduce, I guess, which is one of the big changes, is this like weather system. These weather events. The game is split up into 4 biomes. You've got like grasslands, forests, snow section, like it's called the Alpine, and a desert area. And each one of these areas have this extreme weather event. And we talked about it in our preview, which was the one we saw, the tornado. And basically the Black Hand has found a way to control weather events, and the tornado sort of roams around the area and causes destruction. And it doesn't go into certain parts because the Black Hand have set up these wind cannons, and they're able to sort of manipulate this giant tornado in the world. And that tornado is one of the best parts of the game, because it's sort of works really well in terms of blending a really cool mechanic with the physics systems that it's got in the game, and also like blowing shit up. Like it destroys so much cool stuff, and you can also like it looks cool. Like to play around with that is a really cool part of the game. But then they've got all these other weather systems in there that are just so boring. Like a storm. There is an electrical storm, and that's that's not fun. It does the same thing as like Zelda, where you'd just be running around and it's like, oh, you're about to get zapped, you better do this other thing so that you don't get zapped. And its gimmick is you need to get lower than other
Something
objects
else,
in the world that is around you, and that way the lightning hits it instead.
Yep.
And so that doesn't add a fun gameplay mechanic. Like the tornado stuff's really cool because it interacts with the environment and you can do things sort of with it. The mission's really cool. Like it looks awesome, but there's a blizzard, there's a thunderstorm. Like all of that stuff is just like it doesn't really.
What are the 3 other ones? It's the lightning storm, the blizzard, and what's the other one?
Dust storm.
Dust. Yeah. I could tell that they were going to be fucking shit from the get go. I think it was pretty obvious, like especially compared to a tornado, like
Right.
a dust storm. What? So I can't see stuff anymore. Cool. Who fucking cares? A blizzard? I can't see stuff, and I'm cold.
Yeah.
Lightning storms were the worst part of Zelda as well. So, well, not the worst part. One of the worst parts of Zelda as well. So, like, I just, you could tell a lot. Like, they came up with this one really fucking cool idea, the tornado thing, and then
That's why they were showing it everywhere.
and that's but that's as far as they really got in terms of really cool weather events. Because generally the rest of them are just not fun. Yeah.
But the thing about those weather events is that they're the best missions in the game. Even though the like lightning storm stuff is a bad game mechanic,
Yeah.
the actual missions are good because they're a lot more interesting than the crap they get you to in the main missions.
Yeah.
That's like the tornado missions are fucking awesome, man. The way those play out are a lot of fun, and it's the best part of the game. Those missions. The regular missions are crap. It's we played the ones in the preview. It's like a lot of interacting with consoles. I think I wrote I wrote in my preview. There's a lot of interacting with consoles, driving hackers to consoles, or blowing up generators because consoles don't work, something like that. But like, it's just very repetitive. You're always doing like at a console, opening it, or like defending a console, or driving a hacker to a console and defending the hacker while he uses the console, or blowing up generators because a door doesn't open, and you're just doing that constantly, all the time, and there's just no variety in any of the missions. And the way the game is supposed to work is you're doing these missions but blowing shit up. But because you're not given any reason to blow shit up anymore, you're just doing these terrible missions over and over again. So it just becomes no fun. So yeah, I don't like any of the missions. The best part of the missions are the ones attached to the weather events, and there's only a couple of them for each one.
Yeah, right.
They're set up into like tiers. Like you do a part of a mission, and then the weather event sort of moves to a different section on the map. It's like, all right, now I've got to go unlock this region in order to go do this weather event. And yeah, so they're no good. They've got new gadgets in the game now. The returning ones are the retractor, the boosters, and then the new one they've got is the airlifter.
Yep.
The retractor and boosters work pretty much the same way as the last games. The retractor, you attach one end to an object and something else, and it tethers together. The booster is, I think the booster works a little bit different this time. You can use your grapple to attach it to things.
Yeah, because it's on the grapple instead of the explosives. Yeah,
yeah.
But that's the only real difference.
Yeah, so you put booster on stuff and it makes it fucking go really quick, or you can shoot things off into the sky. And the airlifter is basically balloons that you can attach to objects, and it will lift up into the air. At the start of the game, they make you lift a car up, or multiple cars.
Yeah. I think we talked about this because this was in the preview, right?
Yeah. So that's the introduction to the
airlift
to those gadgets.
Yeah.
That's the only time I ever used the airlifter.
Well, I think I said this last time, but I didn't use the airlifter.
Yeah,
I just retracted it out of the way. Gold. Yeah.
They give you these gadgets to use, and then there's no part of the game that sort of forces you to use them.
Yeah.
Or like requires you to use them. Because you can just use your retractor on everything.
Yeah. Yeah.
So there's no like puzzle mechanics in the game to be like, oh, you actually need to do this thing, and in order to do that, you've got to use this specific gadget. They're just like, nah, just do whatever you want, and so there's no reason at all to ever try any of that other stuff at all. So I think that's a giant misstep as well. And then you've got all these modifications that you can attach to your gadgets, and you unlock them as you progress through the game, and that allows you to do things like, for instance, with the airlifter, you can decide whether or not you want balloons to follow you, how high in the air you want the balloons to float, or if you want them to float in the air at all, they can just shoot off into the sky. What sort of gases the balloons are filled with, whether or not the balloons are destructible or indestructible. And that goes the same with the other gadgets. You can then modify all the other ones in the game, and they're saying there's millions of combinations.
But
in order
like,
to change them.
they're sort of like they don't matter.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Yeah, that like there are millions of combinations, but only like 3 of them really do anything at all that anyone gives a fuck about.
At least for the main part of the game, like, there's obviously stuff there because it is a sandbox game where you'll see crazy videos on the internet of people doing insane shit. And they're the types of people that they're going to get a lot out of it because they can really dig into it and play it or do things specifically the way they want to do it. But in terms of like the game and the missions and whatnot, like, none of that stuff matters at all. It's not important. So yeah, like, there's all this stuff in the game you can do, but there's no reason to do any of it. Which is, I guess, why I did not like it as much as the last game, because I felt like that game gave you specific reasons to go do all this stuff, like to go do the side activities, to get unlocks. I thought it was a lot funnier.
Yeah.
It's not. This game has a couple of moments where I was like, yeah, that's pretty funny. But I felt like the last one was, at least, the stuff they did with the propaganda speakers, thought that was done really well. Where there's nothing like that in this game. It's super
Tell you what, The Bennett Foddy getting over it Easter egg, though, probably
Sure.
the best Easter egg of the entire year. I don't think there is a better one.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Yeah, that is. I watched the video. That's a fucking cat. That was spectacularly done. Yeah, but otherwise, yeah. Like even then, it looked ugly as well. Like it looks bad.
So it looks good when you're up in the sky,
Yeah.
sort of really high up in the air. Because it's yeah, the way it renders, that sort of stuff is really cool. But the moment you get to the ground, especially the fucking water, looks terrible. I don't know what they did with the water. The last couple of games, the water looked okay. This is just like a flat surface with a really shitty reflection texture on it.
Yeah,
I thought my game was fucked, but I've seen a lot of people complaining about it. But yeah, it just looks like this looks bad.
yeah,
But yeah, I mean, it runs well on PC. The load times are super impressive. It loads when you first get into the game, and it takes I don't know, a little while to load up. But once you're actually in the game, getting to missions, it's super quick. The fast travel system is ridiculously quick. Like you fast travel and you're ready to go within about a second.
yeah.
That is impressive. That part of it, because like in a lot of games, I'm like I don't really. Sometimes I'm like I'm not sure if I want to fast travel because it's gonna leave
might
load
be.
for 30 seconds.
It might be faster to just fucking walk there.
Yeah, to just get there. Whereas in this game, it's literally a fucking fast. Like it is one of the fastest fast travel systems I've seen. You press that button and it's like you're ready to go again. And, all right, fair enough. I'll use that a lot. So
Yeah.
I did actually use it quite a bit because the map is pretty massive. It's just there's not a lot to do in the map, and there's no reasons to do any of it. I spent a lot of time, and I made a video about this, doing terrible things to a dog in the game.
A dog? What do you mean?
Yeah, because I
What?
posted on the internet.
Abusing a dog?
Oh yeah. Here we,
Are you fucking kidding?
There's a.
How fucking dare you? Fucking,
I think they've
I can
also
see a
got-
cat there next to you. Fuck.
Where? No, that's a rug.
You made a rug out of your cat? Is there any animal you won't abuse? I have had enough of Luke's campaign of violence towards animals
In video games.
in general.
And, yeah, and you
All
can't
over.
say bad things about them anymore either.
No, you can't. Yeah. Don't start. Don't start.
Don't
Don't get
with that one.
starting. Yeah.
So I tweeted that like there's this tiny dog in the game. I
Yep.
put a video up of it. It's pretty close to the start of the game. You can find it, and it follows you around and that sort of thing. You can't interact with it very much. Like you can't pet it, nothing like that. And what I was trying to do is I tried to put a booster on it at the start of the game, but it didn't do anything, and so I kind of left it and didn't think much about it. And then one of the YouTubers messaged me and said, "Have you tried putting a booster on it?" And I was like, "Yeah, I tried that, but nothing happened." But
Yeah.
I'll go back and try the airlifter when I get a chance, like when I'm back in that area.
Yeah.
And so I get back to this area, and I tried the booster. I started making a video, so I showed you what happened when they you put the booster on it. Nothing the booster fires and the dog just runs around. And then I put the airlifter on this thing, and it starts floating in the air, and I'm like, all right, let's see how fucking deep we can go with this. And then I fire off the booster again, and then the booster starts working. So it actually works, but you've got to have the dog in the air.
Right.
And then I spent the next hour fucking around with this dog.
Amazing.
Because I found that you could actually attach the retractor to it and then attach it to walls. But then if you started doing like more than one retractor, you could start moving this dog around the map. And then so I
Right.
started moving it like into sections where you couldn't get this dog usually to go. And anyway, it ends up with me attaching the dog to a car that goes past while it's floating in the air, and it just disappears off in the distance. So yeah, that
Tiny
was
fucking-
that might have been the most fun I had in the game. Just me fucking around with
Excellent.
this dog. So yeah, I gave it a 6 out of 10 when I reviewed it.
Yeah.
As far as I'm aware, I'm the lowest on Metacritic at the moment.
Yeah.
I was, when I last checked, tied with GameSpot,
Right.
but they put theirs up after me.
Copying
so, yeah.
you.
Are you watching it?
I am.
Oh, that's terrible.
It is terrible. It is such an awful thing to do to a dog.
Yeah, man. I just don't know. I feel like it's a missed opportunity. There's a lot of things in that game that they don't, that they could have done a lot better. I feel like it doesn't. Like they didn't evolve that game enough for me.
Yeah.
They didn't do like the things they put in there were the modifications and like the weather system and whatnot, and that doesn't add a whole lot to it. And then the missions aren't very good. Like the physics stuff is still fun. Like it's cool to fuck around with the game and do all that sort of stuff. But there's no reason to do any of that anymore because they changed the progression system. So
yeah.
Anyway, I think it's maybe like if you liked the last game, maybe check it out when it's on sale because it's still like it's still a fun, like you have fun playing it, but yeah, it's just not that great. So
yeah,
bit disappointing for me because I was really looking forward to
I know you are
checking it out.
Yeah.
All right, is that it?
Cool. Yeah. How many fucking retractors can you attach to a single fucking dog, man? Out of control.
I've got it like floating in the air at one stage, and it's like spinning around and shit. And I am losing my mind when this is happening. I am laughing way too much.
I'm watching it without sound, but
the start of it. Oh, so at the start of the video, I'm not sure if you realize this happens, but I put the booster on the dog, and it's like running around and whatnot. And I've accidentally got my grenade launcher out, and I hit escape.
I saw.
And I can't remember what I was doing. I don't know if I accidentally hit escape or something, but then I go to press resume, and I press resume and nothing happens, so I click it again, but then the game loads up, and then I fire my fucking grenade and kill the dog, and I'm like, oh shit, and then I press the booster, and it starts spinning around, and I'm like, oh yeah, okay, fair enough. So, that's...
It was, it was pretty harsh. Gold! Alright,
what do we got for news? Epic Games launching a store to compete with Steam.
Yes.
Big news.
It is pretty big. They're coming straight out of the gate, punching pretty fucking hard. Giving like creators a much larger percentage of a bigger share of the pie, straight up, which is good, obviously. Yeah. What is it? 22% they take, or is it they take 18%? I can't remember.
I thought it was 12.
12. Oh, it is too. Yeah. I was getting all my eights, all the eights, and I got the 2. I was pretty close. Yeah, 12%. Which is fucking awesome.
Yeah, I think Steam at the moment takes, is it between 22 and 30, depending on who you are. I think 30 is the baseline, and I think some of the bigger AAA publishers, they take about between 22 and 30%.
Yep.
Of the cut.
Yeah, and they recently made some minor alterations where if you reach certain milestones, they'll take a smaller cut for every dollar you earn after that milestone.
Yeah.
But the milestone in question is $10 million, so it doesn't really apply to most people. It's mostly just to make sure the biggest publishers stay on Steam, I guess.
Yeah, because that's the thing, right? Is a lot of the publishers bringing out their own platform these days, and then making that platform the place you need to play the game. EA's done it recently. Bethesda started doing it. They haven't taken away Bethesda games, but I guess Fallout 76 is one of them.
Yeah, they didn't put it on Steam, and they should have, because Steam actually has a functioning friends system, and Bethesda Net does not. But
yeah, Ubisoft still does both.
Yeah.
So that's good.
What do you think about all this? I mean, when I load up my computer these days, I have to make sure Origin has open, Battle.net's open, Steam is open, and Uplay is open to make sure that anything that has to fucking do a quick patch can do that patch.
Right.
Which is, it's mildly annoying, but I've also noticed that none of them seem particularly resource intensive. I think Steam might be the most resource intensive for me at the moment. Like, there was a portion of time where it had some sort of fucking bug where it was at like 100% hard drive use,
Right.
which was extremely annoying, and it was fucking up some of my games.
Because it was always downloading PUBG updates.
Yeah, probably. Slow down heat. Yeah, it's yeah, like I don't find them. Yeah, I think they're pretty small impact wise, so I don't think it's the worst thing to have them all. But I can see where it would, like, get a little bit annoying and shit. I can understand where people are coming from if they're getting dragged down by all the shit they have to have installed. Just don't think it's that big a deal, really.
Right.
For me. Yeah. Yeah. What do you think?
Like, yeah, it's going to be interesting to see whether or not we start seeing some lower priced games now.
Yeah.
If they're taking less of a cut, or if they're just like, well, the publisher's just like, well, yeah, whatever. It just means we're getting more money out of
We
it.
just get more money, yeah. More cash, baby. Yeah, that would make sense, I think. Like, why not? Like, just get more money. Why not?
But
like,
in the end, it just means that all the other distribution platforms are going to have to try and do something about it as well.
well, I wonder if Origin and Battle.net and whatever, I wonder if they care. I think those two in particular are happy being their own store, their own place for their own games. I think they're happy with the current system. They get what they need out of it. I don't think they care to sell other games necessarily. I know Origin has dipped its toe in the water, but hasn't really done anything with it, So, yeah, I don't think it's that big a deal, really. I don't think it'll really impact them. The only one it's going to impact is Steam, because the install base for the Epic launcher is pretty fucking big now. So, yeah, they might, if they are able to somehow incentivize people to do a discount. Like, I guess if you were to do a 10% discount on the Epic launcher, you'd still be making a profit over what you are earning from sales on Steam.
Yeah.
So it would really just come down to the user experience. As long as it is as good as it is on Steam, then yeah, people will be incentivized to shift across.
Right. Yeah, and they've got that user base there from Fortnite as well. So that's
exactly.
Like, it's not like they're just doing this for the fun of it.
Yeah.
I know they were doing things with like the Unreal Store as well for developers. I don't know if that's tied into it anyway, because like if you were creating for the Unreal Engine, you could put certain things up on the store, and
you get some sort of discount for selling Unreal Engine based games on the Unreal Store, Epic Store. Yeah. So they have added that as well. Like, you have a 5% discount on your licensing for the engine.
Sure.
So yeah, there's that incentive as well. Like, there's quite a bit. It's an interesting power move. Will be interesting to see how it rolls out. I mean, generally we try to find the cheapest version of a fucking game as it is, right? Provided that they have fixed the login system issues that they were having, because I said on Twitter this time last year, I was getting like a notification every single day that someone had attempted to log into my account. There is zero fucking chance
that they're getting anymore.
Yeah, I probably can't either. I haven't tried.
Well, I tried it the other day.
Right.
Like a couple days ago, because I think everybody used to have the same fucking thing. And it's like, would you like to reset your password? I'm like, yes. And then it sends me an email, and then I go to reset my password, and it's like, this token does not work. And I'm like, cool, fair enough. So I can't reset my password.
Excellent.
I tried it like 3 times over the course of different days. So I don't know.
Well, that's not good.
It just means I can't play Fortnite anymore.
Bummer.
But like, I think I've said this before. I don't buy many games on Steam anymore. And when I do, it's usually an indie game or something like that that's on Steam, because I just find that in order to get games, it's cheaper to get them elsewhere. I usually buy them from like Green Man Gaming these days, or GOG or something like that.
Like even
Return of the Obra Dinn. I bought that on GOG because it was cheaper over there than it was on Steam.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, but I guess that's the thing, right? Like we will go where it was cheaper.
Yeah.
We don't give a fuck about launches or whatever the fuck. It doesn't really matter to us. So yeah, and like I've got no attachment to my Steam profile or my achievements or whatever the fuck. I've got notifications turned off on Steam messages. Yeah, like I just as a community element, I don't get much out of Steam either. Like, yeah. Yeah, I guess it's just pretty ignorable, right?
Yep.
Like, just fucking whatever. Yeah.
What else we got?
Bethesda's continuing nightmare is what I wrote down here, because they're just moving from one train wreck to the next. They do something good, and then something goes horribly wrong with it. So last week, I guess it was the canvas bag situation, where the special edition or the collector's edition or whatever the fuck promised a canvas bag, and then they switched it out for a vinyl tote bag without notifying anyone. And when someone emailed to find out what the fuck went wrong, they
got a good reply.
Yeah, the customer support person in question said they had no plan. Like, basically, just gave a shitty reply. Basically, we've got no plans to do anything about this.
They were too expensive to make, so we're not
Yeah.
making them.
Yeah. Yeah, and so that obviously didn't go very well. Bethesda, palmed it off as sort of that was a temp. That's not our position. Here's $5 worth of
atomic bucks.
Yeah, that you can only use in Fallout 76, which is a pretty hollow offer, really. And then so people weren't happy with that, and then they continued to scramble, continued to do what they can. They then decided that they were making the canvas bags. They said, message us, submit a support ticket, and we will sort you out with the bag that you are owed.
Yep.
But there was a glitch in the system, and anyone who submitted a support ticket could see the entire details of a bunch of other people. So there were all these addresses, fucking personal details just being randomly shared with random people. So if you were submitting a ticket, people had your address and shit. So obviously that's a massive privacy breach. So yeah, again, the problem gets even worse. And I guess now they're currently scrambling on that. Their official statement was they experienced an error with our customer support website, allowed some customers to view support tickets. We immediately took down the website to fix the error. We're still investigating the incident. So they haven't even fixed it. But yeah, no full credit card numbers or passwords disclosed. But it is a privacy breach in an age when privacy breaches are, happening. It's a terrible fucking outcome, it feels bad, right? Like, they put out a bad game. There's, I think, zero question about that. Everyone accepts that they put out a bad game, but now it just seems like they cannot do anything to fucking correct the course. Every single time it's like that fucking gif of Sideshow Bob walking on a bunch of rakes. That is exactly what keeps happening. And then they turn and they step on another rake, and then they take another step and it's on another rake. Like, it is just fucking bang, bang, bang. And it's honestly there was a bit of schadenfreude that taking pleasure in the mistakes of others when you feel they deserve it. There was a bit of that initially. You know, it was like, yeah, you put out a bad game, so you know this is pretty amusing to see. But it is, we've blasted way past that. It is no longer amusing. It is just sort of sad. I'm just sort of like, oh, go on, buddy, come on, come on. Like, yeah, I cannot. Fallout 76 has got to be one of the biggest clusterfucks, one of the biggest ongoing train wrecks, yeah, of all time. Like, I cannot understand how things just keep getting worse. Hilarious, but also really sad.
Yep.
Yeah. Anyway, that's a summary of the situation. They also put out a patch recently that severely nerfed a lot of the resource gain elements. I'm in two minds about this. Everyone was saying that it was way too easy to get resources, but it seems like the general consensus from late game players is that they have nerfed the resources to a point where it now feels pointless to do anything late game because you can't earn anything fast enough for it to be worth earning, and it decays. Apparently, it decays. Stuff decays.
Food and things like that too. Yeah.
And some late game resources have like radioactive decay, and they now decay at a rate that makes them functionally worthless to acquire. So yeah, it's an ongoing nightmare of balance that they're continuously trying to sort out. But
right.
Yep.
Cool.
Anyway, cool.
What else is there?
Artifact is already out of the top 25 on Steam.
Right.
You heard it here first, folks. I actually posted this on Twitter. I'll be extremely, happy to be the guy 2 years down the track saying, yeah, I said all this. I don't think I'm going to have to wait 2 years. I think people are fucking bailing on Artifact already. This one's like fucking, they're getting the fuck out. The people, I actually noticed something really interesting because I am staying up on Artifact news. I do want to make sure that I know enough about it that if Valve announces a $25 million fucking tournament, that I can sort of fucking cover it. Yeah, it seems to me it sort of resembles the crypto craze in that there are people who have invested money into Artifacts who have now a specific monetary investment in making sure other people still find value in Artifacts. So if we look at crypto, right, it's quite similar. People are like, Bitcoin totally still has value, but they are saying this because they have a bunch of Bitcoin that they desperately want to retain value. I have Bitcoin and I have Ethereum. They have not retained their value, but you'll notice that I never spent all my time trying to convince other people that Bitcoin has value. It's because I don't play that way, but I do believe that there is a run of a bunch of Artifact players who are invested and like literally monetarily invested, who want the game to succeed now, not necessarily because they enjoy the game, but because they want to retain value in their investment. Anyone who bought Axe when it was $50 fucking, twice the price of the game, will want to retain the value of their cards. Axe is never going to be worth $50 again. But yeah, that's sort of the like situation really, is that like, yeah, people want it to succeed. I think less now because it's a game that they enjoy, and more because if it fails, they are left with a bunch of worthless cards. The question for them is, when do they get out? Do they cut their losses? Is there some sunk cost fallacy going on? I mean, almost certainly there is, but like, yeah, how do they bail out at the right time? I don't think they know. Like, I think it's a tricky one. As as the numbers drop for artifacts, I think it's going to be pretty interesting. I mean, there might be value in watching the market and jumping on cards when they're crashing. I think someone was charting. I haven't looked in a while, but someone was charting all the fucking card values, and they were nosediving last time I looked. That was 3 days ago.
Right.
Yeah, like if that's gonna happen, yeah, you should probably get out when you can. I mean, if you still like the other thing is right, if you sell all your cards, you can still play free draft and the other free free draft. You can't play free constructed, but you can still play free draft,
Right.
Which is ostensibly the best part of the fucking game. So yeah, you may as well. Fuck it.
So
Just
when
out.
you say top 25, you're meaning Steam charts, right?
I do, yes.
Okay, yeah.
Why is that?
Oh, because no, that's what I'm looking at now.
All
I
right.
wasn't sure if you meant in terms of sales, or if you meant Steam charts.
I
It
am.
is 29 right now.
Yeah. Oh, it was 26. It was 26 when I put that fucking thing in.
Yeah, but it's
Oof.
also off peak. It's at the moment.
It was off peak for every other fucking thing as well, dude.
It peaked today at 60,000, or no, or is that peak all time? Let me check. Yeah, that's peak today.
Right.
His Dota's at PUBG's pretty high as well. Yeah, man, I think they made the wrong game free to play today. They announced the wrong one.
Right? Like, fuck.
It's so strange.
Time of Triumph is down $3 from what I sold it at. What's Axe at? Axe is $14 now and dropping. Yeah. Yeah.
Right. All right. Let's move on. What else we got here? So yesterday, Ubisoft was teasing a new Far Cry game.
Yep.
And it was going to be revealed at the Game Awards, which is on very shortly. Except
Yeah.
for them,
Now. No, less than that.
the game leaked ahead of
It
time.
leaked.
So we've got
Yeah.
box art, a name for it. It's called Far Cry New Dawn. This one's a bit tough to talk about because it is a direct sequel to Far Cry 5.
Right.
Kind of what happens after the events of that game.
Okay.
So, if you don't want to know what happens, maybe pause the podcast for a little while. Skip forward a bit.
Right.
So yeah, it's set after the events of Far Cry 5, where, if you don't know, at the end of that game, you sort of don't win.
Yep.
And a nuclear bomb goes off and destroys Hope. Is it Hope Country or Hope County? I can't remember.
County.
Yeah.
Hope County.
And so this one is going to be set after those events. It's called Far Cry New Dawn, and that's about all we know for the moment. They've dropped a teaser trailer,
Yeah.
but until the Game Awards starts shortly, we won't really know much more about it.
Yep.
The box art is out. There's two people standing in front of somebody tied to a car. Don't really know whether or not they are protagonists or the antagonists of the game, or what's really going on. Generally, they have the antagonists on the front of their covers, the last couple, ranging from 3, 4, and 5. Primal had a skull, so I guess maybe dinosaurs. But this one, yeah, I had a theory that maybe it's a co-op game. They're focusing more on co-op because Far Cry has always had co-op, but it's always been a bit shit, and that's something we've talked about in the past. So whether or not these two characters are actually the antagonists, or whether it's a game going to focus more on co-op, well, I guess we'll find out very, very soon.
Yeah, it looks kind of psychedelic. Like very I guess weird, like very interpretive.
Well, I guess the last game had that drug, right? That
Yeah,
another the part of the game that I hated the most.
yeah,
So maybe the
yeah. I wonder if
radiation has
that,
done
yeah,
something
it
to it.
influences everything about it or whatever it is.
Mm.
The image, the box art that got tweeted got removed by the copyright holder. They DMCA'd
Hmm.
on Twitter. The dude who tweeted it. Um, yeah,
That's so
interesting.
dumb, man. Because it's
That is,
everywhere now.
what's the fucking
Like
point?
literally everyone's
You
posting about it.
idiots. Yeah. It's way too late to put that one back in the bag. But yeah, gold.
Hmm.
I like as long as it's got way better co-op system, I will 100% get in. And if it doesn't, I'll probably skip it if I'm being honest.
Hmm.
Because if it's just gonna be the same like place, same world, but with I guess
Like
different
aesthetic
skin,
change or something.
yeah, aesthetic change. I don't care that much to check it out.
Right.
To be honest,
Yeah.
yeah, like if it's gonna be functionally the same map, yeah, probably skip. But yeah, if it is a nuclear blasted open world with good co-op, then I will play it.
Yeah.
Unlike Fallout 76.
We'll find out shortly.
We will.
Because the Game Awards are starting very soon. We were going to do a separate podcast while it was running, but it turns out you're going somewhere. So
I am.
We're not going to get a chance to do that. I guess touching on that a little bit, we talked last week in the news. There was a rumor going around that Rocksteady were working on a game that might be announced, and they've come out since then and said that they are not going to be revealing it at the Game Awards, and it's also not a Superman game. So still doesn't mean Superman's not in it, I guess.
That is true.
Yeah.
Yeah. The other thing I guess that is coming is the rumored Batman game, right? From WB Montreal,
Yeah,
the ones who made
Court of Owls.
Origins, Court of Owls. Yeah, is that still on the cards? Do we think that's going to get
saw a
announced?
post, but I don't know.
Right.
Well,
Yeah.
I saw that that's a thing that's happening, but who knows?
If I could start in 8 minutes.
Starts shortly, yeah. We should wrap things up. We'll go through everything next week when they announce all the big stuff. But
We
I'm
will.
interested to watch it. It should be good.
Yeah, it should be interesting.
Got any questions quickly, or not?
We do not.
That's fine by me.
We did have Drew jumped on to tell us to point out that Mexico is actually accessible in Red Dead Redemption 2. People have glitched their way into the game space, which is pretty fucking huge and does sort of play into what we were saying last week about that idea. No, there's nothing there yet, but it does sort of establish that they do have the space in the game world or for Red Dead Redemption 2, which means our theory that they might do a Red Dead Redemption 1 remake in that engine has a lot to it. I said it last week, but I'm still fucking in. I'm in on that. I will continue to hate Mexico as a portion of the game, but yeah, pretty interesting. Yeah.
All right.
Cool.
That's
Should wrap it up. Let's do it. Thanks for listening.
Oh God, no, that's how it goes. The Gap. You can find us on iTunes, Android, Windows Store. We're also on Spotify now. You can search for the GA Podcast or the Gap, and we should show up there. If you rate and review us, helps other people find the show. You can also email us questions, thegapodcast@gmail.com. If you want to do it the old-fashioned way, or you can go to our Discord page, which is thegapodcast.com/Discord, and you can leave us questions in our questions channel, or you can just talk if you want to in some of the others we got there, and play games. We have a lot of voice channels which you can jump in and play some things on.
Yep.
If you want to find us on social media, you can as well. Facebook.com/GA Podcast, Twitter.com/GA Podcast. You can also find us on YouTube, YouTube.com/GA Podcast. And you can watch us on screen. We definitely are not commenting on whatever Joab is wearing today.
Mate. Don't
We
hate
nearly
the shark.
made it the whole episode without mentioning
We did.
it.
The shark. This is a towel. Oh, fucking check out my armpits. Actually, look, you can see my Quake tattoo. Yeah. No, the shark towel hoodie concept. The hoodie poncho towel is the greatest thing of all time, and I cannot believe I only just discovered them. Little kids have had them for ages. Like little kids get everything. Adult size towel hoodie. It's fucking spectacular.
Right.
It's so comfortable. I want to wear a poncho all the time. I think like it'd be a cool nickname too. You could call me Poncho.
Okay.
Like just start calling me Poncho.
Radio Poncho.
Cheers.
You go to our website, thegapodcast.com. It's got links to everything we just talked about, including past episodes of the show. And
Yes.
that is all thanks to our Patreon members. If you want to help support the show, go to patreon.com/GAPodcast. Thank you to everyone that does that every month. Much
You're the best.
appreciated. And that is it. You got anything else we can pimp out this week, Job?
Go check out my massive interview with the Hearthstone creative director, Tom something or other. Tom something. Pretty good. It is massive. It is like 2,500 words. It is extremely detailed. So that's pretty good. Check that out. Check out an interview I've got with Jake from the Brisbane Deceptors in the Gfinity league. He's the dude who was on Chiefs and quit when they lost. Ronda Rousey did, and but he's back. He's playing again. It's good. It's a pretty good interview, I think. Get some insight into the draft system. I have some questions. I don't think the draft system works as well as it could, to be honest, based on what he and I talked about. And yeah, that's about it. Follow me on Twitter at JobyJojo. You can check out my fucking winning my first game of Danger Zone, the Counter-Strike Battle Royale. I'm too fucking good, baby. Too good. // What about you, Luke? What do you got? Where's
You can find me twitter.com/Luke Lawrie, or you can go to Stevivor.com and check out some of my work. This week was Just Cause 4 review. So you can go read that. I bashed that out in a very quick amount of time.
And did you put your videos in your review or
no?
All right, so you have to go to your YouTube
page. I'll post them in the Discord channel.
Nice.
Somebody already hasn't done that.
Dope.
And that's it. We'll be back next week, talk about the Game Awards and what's going on there.
Yes.
So it should be a lot of things, interesting things to talk about.
Things. Yep.
Okay.
Excellent.
That's it.
Bye.
See ya.